Welcome everybody to the Joyful Belly School of Ayurveda. We're going to talk about our online certification courses today. So if you're interested in getting certified as an Ayurvedic counselor or in Ayurvedic digestion and nutrition, this is the place to be. My name is John Immel, and this is what I look like. I'm the director of the Joyful Belly School of Ayurveda. And I'll go through the two programs in turn. The first program is the Fundamentals of Ayurvedic Medicine, and that's a 750-hour program. That's 2 years, an online program, no travel required, 3 coaching calls a week, plus 3 presentations a week. The first year, you complete your basic training in Ayurveda fundamentals, and the second year, it's applied, and you're going to be discussing clinic, including supervision and review for up to 95 clinical encounters. And that'll be meeting with other students initially to test out your Ayurvedic skills. And then you'll also be meeting with outside clients as well. And the purpose of the fundamentals course is to learn how to see the whole person. So how to see the whole person mentally, emotionally, and physically. And Ayurveda addresses all 3 of those and uses certain cues and observational techniques to make that assessment. And that gives you all the fundamentals that you will need to be an Ayurveda health counselor, which means that you'll basically, in your scope of practice, will be able to recommend those systemic lifestyle, diet, and herbs to rebalance the client's constitution and vital energies back to their individual ideal. So that's the first course, the 2-year course. The other course is Mastering Ayurvedic Digestion and Nutrition, and that is a 1-year course. This course is a comprehensive course in digestive tract pathology and Ayurvedic nutrition. It's an intense course. Sometimes people think, oh, well, this is 1-year course, and the other one's a 2-year, so the other one's deeper. I would actually say, in some ways, it's the other way around. This course is specific, and so we're going to be going deep into the digestive tract and digestive tract pathology from an Ayurvedic point of view. And because it's so focused, we're going to cover a lot of ground in that area. In the fundamentals course, on the other hand, we'll be looking at the body broadly, and both courses are intense. Both courses are rich. This one has a much wider scope, and the digestive course has a much more focused scope. And so both of them, I would say, are comparable, and their scope is different. So important to recognize that. But the goal of this course is to develop your insight and intuition in specifically the area of digestion, and bringing that into a level of mastery that you would feel confident going into a room full of gastroenterologists and talking about what you know, and they would you'd be able to and that you would have a lot to offer from the Ayurvedic point of view. The course is an integrative course. It doesn't just include Ayurvedic, but we'll also discuss and touch upon concepts from Chinese medicine and other areas, so that you have a clear understanding of digestive tract pathology from this holistic, I would say, biocharacteristic point of view that Ayurveda exemplifies. Both courses are immersion courses. Both courses are about knowledge as well as insight. And it's important to recognize that it's not just a body of knowledge. Ayurveda is not just a body of knowledge, it's a methodology. It's an approach. And what we're going to try to do is help you internalize that approach, so that you're doing it all day long with yourself, with the people that you love, and then finally with your clients. Sometimes it's very interesting to note that externally, um, people may not even notice that you're doing Ayurveda, but internally, you are monitoring yourself using Ayurveda's techniques and supporting yourself constantly in this very natural and simple way that Ayurveda offers, and that leads to much greater health and wellness, well-being in general for you and your clients. So the practice of Ayurveda, which I think is always very interesting, it's not always very overt, but it's happening, and it's there, and so that is exciting. You'll learn, especially in the fundamentals course. There's the whole second year's clinic, so you'll be learning how to work with clients in that course, on and some basics around that. In the digestive course, we assume that you already have a lot of clinical knowledge, and so we won't be necessarily teaching you how to work with clients. We'll simply be teaching you Ayurveda. Now, I know there are some physicians on the call, other people who have lots of experience in clinic, and like I said in the pre-call conversation, you won't be rehashing things that you already know and are confident in, but you'll find some of those introductions refreshing, and others, if you have clinical experience and you're going into the 2-year fundamentals, you can you can move quickly past those. But again, there's not you won't if you have clinical experience, you won't be rehashing much. I think you'll find all the content refreshing, practical, and engaging. And that's our goal in this course. Our goal is to apply Ayurveda's practical knowledge of the body, diet, lifestyle, and herbs to lead your clients to radical new health and vitality. So I want to emphasize that we are not here as a school, and you'll see this on the Joyful Belly website as well. We're not trying to shroud Ayurveda in mystery or to present it as something miraculous or magical or anything like that. This is going to be a practical course that gives you insight so that you understand on an experiential level how the body works. And I get this other question all the time. We're an online course, so sometimes people ask questions like, well, is your course hands-on? And how could it be hands-on if it's online? And what I want to say is that we've designed the course to be hands-on, and it's going to be hands-on in exactly the same way a course is hands-on if you're meeting in person at a particular location. How? Because in Ayurveda courses that meet in person, they're going to tell you go home and experiment with this particular herb and report on it. And that's exactly what we're going to say also. And then we'll get together and talk about it. With the difference is that this course will have a heavy emphasis on developing that practical side, doing body awareness experiments, doing food experiments, asking you lots of questions about your body in the context of what we're learning. And so that way you're going to get good at assessing yourself, assessing your fellow students, and finally your clients, so that we're going to slowly develop that skill, your skill, to offer to the world and to your community the method that you are internalizing and learning. Great. So a lot of people ask the question, why study Ayurveda? Who studies Ayurveda? What is the kind of person that studies Ayurveda? And I would say that people come to Ayurveda if they want to create something wholesome in the world. They want to live a life of meaning and generosity. I think that's what motivates people. If they're coming to health for the right reasons, they're coming because they want to help people and they want to live a life of meaning and generosity. And I think that that Ayurveda as a model is one where you have a high degree of interaction with the client, that you are going to be speaking with and asking the client detailed questions about themselves, so that you're going to know your clients. And it's not just you're not going to be looking at a chart to find out who your client is. I mean, we will be actually be giving you charts, but the main thing is your dialogue and your fitting to the client remedies that are tailor made for them and on a very individual level. So that is going to be very enjoyable, and it's going to be a giving of yourself in a way that is different if you're used to a more Western medical paradigm. And just the level of personalization that Ayurveda offers is what you'll see as being very unique. So people who come to Ayurveda come because they know the natural way is the best foundation for health. And a lot of people are just inexplicably drawn to it. They're inspired by it, and they may not even exactly know why yet. And I know that was the case for me. There was something about it. Actually, I can talk about that just for a minute because I was always interested in food. Even by the time I was in second grade, I was cooking for other people. My sisters in the morning before school, I would cook for them, and make them breakfast every day, and I loved it. I started innovating with recipes, and cooking was always a way that I show people I love them. And so I cook for my family, I cook for my friends, and that's probably a part of my Italian American heritage, and so Ayurveda had that, and I was drawn to that. Ayurveda also recognizes that one's spiritual life has a great influence on health, and scientific research confirms that. While Ayurveda doesn't prescribe a particular kind of spirituality, it is somehow very affirming of that in your health, and I think clients find that gratifying. I found it gratifying when I was first approaching Ayurveda, and it was exciting to me that Ayurveda included that. I would say my whole life is a search for cooking and a search for God, and trying to find out the essential truths, right? And our human nature. And I think Ayurveda does that very beautifully. And a lot of old world systems have models to interpret the whole person and answer some of those essential questions. I think that is a very beautiful thing. So people who are drawn to Ayurveda then ask themselves the next question, which is Ayurveda a good career choice? And I think this question deserves some thought on it. One, I want to mention that health and wellness is a $1 trillion industry, and sometimes it's called alternative medicine, but actually, if you look at world revenue in alternative medicine, it's actually higher than in mainstream medicine. And so, in some ways, what we call mainstream medicine is the alternative. If you're just looking at pure investment dollars, there is a huge market out there for health and wellness. We've all seen, many influencers and other people on social media who are thriving in this industry, and it's possible for you to thrive as well. Ayurveda is rapidly growing in popularity, and it has been for about 15 years now. More and more people know about it. It's becoming more and more familiar. We are seeing enrollment go up every year in our school, and I think that is a sign of what's going on. I gave a teleconference to Yoga Alliance a few years ago, and we had triple the attendance of their normal, workshop of their normal workshops. So 1,000 people showed up instead of the normal 300. And I also gave a presentation on Ayurveda to a Christian consortium of health and wellness professionals. And we had 1,600 people register on the website that day. And why do I mention that? Because sometimes people have this idea that Ayurveda is something that only people in the yoga community are doing, or in groups that are sympathizers to Vedic culture or spirituality. And that's just not true. That Ayurveda is more of a mainstream term, and people do know about it. even in other circles that aren't necessarily familiar with yoga or the Vedic way of life. And I think that those individuals, will come to your practice. I also want to say that what makes Ayurveda a great career choice, and this is what I tell every one of my students. I'm giving you a little hint that a lot of that I give to our students when they're starting to think about growing their practice, which is that my clients, and this is true for doctors and anyone in the health and wellness industry. This is not unique to Ayurveda. My clients don't wake up in the morning and say, I want to go see a doctor today. They don't wake up in the morning and say, I want Ayurveda or I want Western medicine this morning. That's not what they say, right? What they say is, I want to fix my stomach problem, right? So if you want to be successful in health and wellness, what you have to show the client is that you can help them with their stomach problem. So a lot of times, and I do this too, right? That if I love Ayurveda, then what I want to do is create a clinical practice and put a sign up on front of my office that says, come to me for Ayurvedic wellness, right? And then I'll advertise that. But that's not showing the client you can deal with their problem. If I have a sign that says, I fix stomach problems using Ayurveda, then the client who has a stomach problem is going to come in my office, right? So why do I mention that? Is that if you want to be successful in health and wellness, and this is so important, and this is this is what medical doctors do too. If you see a sign on the highway, it doesn't say, come to me, I'm a medical doctor. It says, come to me, I'm a diabetes specialist for 20 years, and I can help you with your blood sugar problems, right? And so that's what we're going to do in Ayurveda too. And that's what, if you're wondering what's going to make you successful in Ayurveda, wonder no more. What you merely have to do is just identify the problem you're going to fix in the world and go out there and start helping people, and you will find people that need you. All right, a little bit about what's unique about our certification courses. One thing I'm going to say is that we're going to show you how to be a teacher of health, how to present and teach Ayurveda. This is something that's unique about Ayurveda. In Ayurveda, I don't heal my clients. I teach my clients how to help themselves, right? So that's different from any other modality. Think about Chinese medicine. When you go to a Chinese medical practitioner, they're sticking needles in you. You don't go home and stick needles in yourself. But when you're doing Ayurveda, you're telling your client what to eat, how to change some of their lifestyle habits, and they have to go home and do it. They do all the work. You're a consultant. You're a facilitator. You're pointing them in the right direction, but they are doing the work. So what does this mean? It means you have to be a good teacher. It means you have to be able to present Ayurveda. It means you have to be able to answer the question, what is Ayurveda? And that answer has to be simple enough that anyone can understand it quickly. And so we're going to teach you how to teach, how to talk about Ayurveda. Our teachers are hired for their great communication skills and command of the material, not just command of the material. We're not just looking for the smartest Ayurveda person out there to teach. What we're looking for is the teacher that has great communication skills, that is going to make it easy for you to help your clients. And yes, they have to have good command of the material, but the command of the material is necessary but not sufficient. Great academics, the sign of a truly good teacher and academic is that they make things simple, not complicated, right? We're not going to throw a bunch of Ayurveda vocabulary words at you so that our students are mesmerized by all these different concepts. That's not how we're going to teach. We're going to teach you all of those Ayurveda concepts and all those vocabulary words in a very practical, easy to understand, rich, deep way. And that is the mark of a great intellectual, that they can give you all of the detail, nothing removed, nothing subtracted, but it's simple and accessible. That's our aim. And that's something we've been doing at Joyful Belly for 12 years now, is translating Ayurveda and making it accessible. And you can look at our online articles for examples of that. Check out some of our recipes, check out some of the things that we've written, and you'll see that it's not something that's going to confuse you, but rather something that's going to feel right as rain, and that it's going to make it easy. My whole life, I have been a passionate teacher in one capacity or another. My whole life, when I was a undergraduate at Harvard University in the math department and computer science department, I by the time I was in my junior year, I was asked to be a teaching fellow for classes that students from my year were attending. And I thought that was a great honor. I was very, I was shocked, but I was asked to be a teaching fellow when I was a junior, and I started teaching then. And after I graduated, I taught in the Harvard Extension School several courses as a teaching assistant, and then I've continued teaching my entire life. I have a calling to teach, and so why do I mention that? I mention that because I can also recognize when another person is a teacher and when they're not, and it's different. You could be a great clinician, but some people are also born and called to teach, and that's what I look for when I bring a teacher on board. And I think you're going to feel that, and you're going to enjoy the classes as a result. You will be challenged in our courses. These are not lightweight courses. We are looking to make a name for Ayurveda. We are looking to push our students. Now, it's not hard intellectually because Ayurveda isn't hard intellectually. So what's challenging about it? It's a lot of depth. You're going to be learning a lot, and it's going to be like drinking water from a fire hose at times. And Ayurveda is a different way of thinking, so it can tweak your brain a little bit. You're going to feel it. I remember when I was a student learning Ayurveda, I was like, I had to come home and put my head in a basin of cold water just to cool my circuits down, right? And you're going to feel like that on certain days. But the course is doable and it's accessible, and we have many, many students who are married with children and a job and doing the course. And we have curveballs that come out along the way. You could be studying in the program, and there could be someone gets sick in the family, or we had a student who had a parent pass away and they had to wrap up their estate. And we're going to be flexible. We know that our students are adults where life is coming at them from several different angles, and we have a flexible extension policy. We're here for you. We're here to serve you and make this a pleasant, awesome experience for you that you're going to love. And so expect that we will meet you where you're at and find a way to make it work. And at the same time, we're not making it easy for the lightweight student. It's gonna be you're gonna when you get to the top of that mountain, you're gonna feel like you have accomplished something great, and you're gonna be very proud of what you've done. It's a rigorous program, and so so with that, who makes up our student body? I've already mentioned that I started my adult life mathematician and computer scientist at Harvard. So how did I come to study Ayurveda? What got me from math and computers to Ayurveda? Well, I started studying Ayurveda because I thought I started studying math initially because I thought math revealed truth. Like, I wanted to know what the truth was. I wanted to understand people, and I figured if I understood the most basic truths, I would understand people better. And so it was like an art form for me, studying math, and it did reveal a lot, and it was a great thing to do. But as anyone would know, you cannot plumb the depths of the human heart with math alone. And so I recognized that after 4 years of study, and I was ready to move on to the next stage. I thought, oh, I'll go into business. That will help me understand people, and it did. That also really helped me understand psychology, but but a different kind of psychology, right? Business can't is in a way it can be opportunistic. So you're missing real human connection there, right? You're missing real relationship. So I quit my business after riding that whole .com wave. I funded my company. I got venture funding for my company and all, and I put that behind and left it and went on a soul searching journey and discovered Ayurveda. And Ayurveda greatly helped me understand human nature, and especially in the physical body. After years of international travel, I was sick. Actually, I was at death's door. I had lost 30 pounds by overconfidently eating street food in every country I went to, and I must have gotten a few bugs, and I was suffering. And so, uh, so with my personal interest in cooking, spirituality, and that quest for God and human nature, and also the medical problems I was suffering from, Ayurveda was a great fit for me, and I never turned back. I healed myself, and I wanted to heal others. And so I think that I'm in a way like a poster child for the kind of for one kind of person that comes to Ayurveda. But people come to Ayurveda from all different walks of life. People looking to do a career change, people who want to like do grassroots, local community kind of things. People whose children have grown and left the house and have time for themselves and their own interests again. We get people who are mental health workers that know that the body plays an important role in reducing symptoms of autism, for example. We get functional medicine practitioners, medical doctors, estheticians, dermatologists, spa owners, yoga teachers, nurse practitioners focused on quality of life issues. And we get enthusiasts, people who are just seem to love it. And what do they do? Well, I already mentioned a little bit about how to start your clinic and be successful in your clinic afterwards, solve a problem that people have in the terms that they describe it, right? Uh, Others integrate Ayurveda into their yoga classes, retreats, and studios, or teach Ayurveda at hospitals or spas or universities. Um, or they cook healthy food at a cafe or restaurant, or they integrate Ayurveda into quality of life care. As I mentioned, they write books or create movies, and et cetera, et cetera. What's the course format? That way I can just answer some of these meat and potato questions that you might have. In the fundamentals course, 180 pre-recorded presentations, split up 3 per week. Now just think about that for a second. We spent probably a good 40 to 50 hours designing the outlines, designing the slides, meeting together as a team to build those presentations. This is not just a course that I, concocted up on my own, but I was involved in it every step of the way, and we met as a team of teachers to build these presentations. A huge investment went into every single presentation, and you'll feel that when you're learning. Each week, as I mentioned, you'll get 3 pre-recorded presentations. You'll get 3 live reviews of those presentations. And if you just even do the math on that, 180 presentations times 50, you're looking at, just shy of 10,000 hours in curriculum development for this course. So you'll get a weekly quiz each week. Actually, each presentation will come with a small quiz that you fill out while you're listening to it. And then you'll get weekly experiments to master concepts, food, herb, and body awareness experiments. And that's pretty much your week to week. In year 2, you're going to have slightly fewer presentations because you're doing more clinic. And you'll also have weeks where You'll be doing a midterm or a final. We're strong believers in testing. I know that some people get a little nervous with testing, but testing is the thing that gives you the opportunity to pull together everything that you've learned into your mind at once. And I'm also just going to mention that I know some people have a little testing anxiety. It is an open book test, and also, we we will our students rarely fail the exam. That is not don't be too worried, but take that opportunity when there's a midterm and final to get all the information you've learned in one place, accessible by your frontal lobe, and that's going to help you synthesize and pull it all together. Such an important part of the learning process. In stage 2, year 2, you're going to um, have 50 supervised client encounters. And again, you'll be doing those it's going to be up to 95 encounters total. And some of those will be with student buddies, and some of those will be directly supervised clinical encounters, etc. We'll be giving you all the forms and legal parameters that you need. And stage 2, we're also discussing tons of special topics like pregnancy, postpartum, pulse analysis, assessment of the tongue, all those kinds of very concrete, practical skills that you're going to need for assessing with clients. First year theory, second year apply. The digestion course is 60 pre-recorded presentations and 3 live classes per week. This is the 1-year course. Each week you get 1 pre-recorded main presentation that's on a digestive tract pathology. And we put 30 main digestive tract pathologies, and each of those are also they describe not just a pathology from a Western point of view, like IBS or inflammatory bowel disease or something like that, food allergy or enzyme deficiency, but each one of those represents a whole pattern of disorders that we're going to touch upon. So 30 main ones touching upon many, many others, and touching the way the liver, gallbladder, pancreas, all appendix, all these other structures throughout the digestive tract are how they're affecting your digestive health and wellness. Each week will include a quiz, a food or herb experiment, and also a case study in the digestive course. You're also going to develop a therapeutic protocol in that course. Now, that's the one where people, the students are always like shaking in their knees about. A therapeutic protocol, I haven't written a paper, in 15 years. Well, don't worry. We're going to do it in 4 stages, and we're going to walk you through it. It's so important, again, as part of the learning process, that you're producing, not just learning, but producing. And when I tell people, when I ask prospective students, what's the one thing they're worried about with attending the course, they're like, oh, it's the therapeutic protocol. And then when I ask students that are already enrolled, they're like, oh, what's the hardest thing in the course? They're like, oh, it's the therapeutic protocol. And then when they graduate, I ask them, what was the best thing in the course? And they're like, oh, the therapeutic protocol. So the students, once they pass that finish line, they are so pleased with themselves that they have done it. The live coaching calls, we record every one. So if you can't make a certain class time in the program, that's okay. We're going to record it. We record everything we do in this program so that people, like I said, have life events coming up. They have deadlines at work. Maybe you have a meeting every week at the time we meet. So then you'll be attending 2 out of 3 classes live, or 1 out of 3 live, and you'll be listening to the other 2 on recording. And we have students in Japan, in New Zealand, that are nearly 12 hours opposite from us, or 14 hours opposite, or people in Western Europe, Great Britain, South Africa, or in the Middle East. We get students from the Middle East as well, and in Hawaii. And so we're dealing with students from every time zone, pretty much every year, and we've designed our class times in such a way that every student can attend at least one class comfortably, possibly two. And those of you who live in the United States can easily attend all three unless you have work conflicts. But again, we're working with you on that. Time commitment per week. In the 2-year course, the AHC fundamentals course is 12 to 13 hours a week. And the Mastering Ayurveda Digestion and Nutrition, it's 8 to 12 hours a week. So that's what you should plan for. Assignments and tests are graded pass-fail for a non-competitive and supportive environment. Although I will say, we give our top students every year internships, and that really helps launch their Ayurveda career. You're studying in a convenient distance learning format. Calls are generally attended by 20 to 40 students. You could study in the comfort of your own home, office, or anywhere in the world. If you miss a lecture, download the recording. Expect a community of support. You're going to be, students every year have lively conversations in our student chat groups, back and forth. And I think you'll enjoy getting to know your fellow students. Where can you pull together a group of people interested in Ayurveda, right? That you can keep connected with the rest of your life. Any one of us, if we took all the people in our town doing Ayurveda, most likely that's going to be 3, 4, 5 individuals. That's, but here you'll be meeting with, each year and each course, we may get anywhere from 60 to 100 students, and you guys will be interacting and talking and learning about each other. And you're going to be able to draw upon the connections you make for the rest of your life. And once we put you in the alumni group after you graduate, which you're going to be able to access alumni from other years as well. All right, let me go over how to register for the program here. Let's see. And cost. Okay, so tuition for the entire program, $6,499 for the 2-year program. That's extremely competitive. I am going to say we're probably going to raise that by the end of next month. But anyone who signs in up before we do that, you will get it at the current price. Mastering Ayurveda Digestion and Nutrition is $4,499. There are monthly payment plans available for each of them. This one, it's $250 a month. And for the digestive course, it's whatever the number of months on before graduation, this divided by that. So it's, I think right now, if the course starts on the 10th month and then it goes 11 months, that means you have 21 months to pay it off. So the monthly rate is going to be $4,499 divided by 21. And you can see that on the page. Just letting you know how we work that out. I know it's a big decision for everybody. And so I just want to say that I'm happy to discuss with each of you one-on-one, not just whether you want to take this course. And I do turn students away who want to take who think they want to take the course, and I talk to them, and I'm like, I think there was one student that I'm thinking of right now, who I found out after talking with them that they really wanted to be a Montessori school instructor, and I was like, go for it, go do Montessori. We're looking for the passionate students that really want this. So I'll help you figure out I'll ask you questions about your mission in life and help you figure that out, and even your mission using Ayurveda. I know a lot of people are, have to talk to their spouse or others because it's not just a decision they're making, but a decision their family's making. And I can tell you that your spouse is going to be way more enthusiastic about you studying it if you have a good plan, and I can help you develop that plan. I can help you say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is how this is the kind of business I want to set up. And your business will sound very plausible and doable. Just because I've talked with so many students about that, I know how to deal with that situation of how to plan out your future. And so let me help you with that if you want. And that way it'll make it easy for you getting everyone in your family enthusiastic about your decision, and even yourself, helping you get clear on what your goals are, and how to step forward. So I'm happy to offer that. In fact, I'll type it in right on the slide here. This is my cell phone number, and I say text me right now, and let me know that you want to set up a time to talk, and I will respond and talk to you. And that's +1, by the way. I do have, for country code, for those international students on the call today, I have Signal for, which is the kind of new WhatsApp. Um, I use Signal, and so we can talk internationally for free. I can use WhatsApp too if you want. I have that also, so that we can talk internationally without an expense on your part or mine, and we can chat about this. Also, another big question that comes up for people is things like license and accreditation and all that. So Ayurveda is not a licensed profession in the United States, which means it's legal to practice, which means anyone can practice Ayurveda in the United States because it's unlicensed. Licensed fields are regulated. Ayurveda is an unregulated field. The limitations of your practice are that you cannot encroach on the scope of practice of other licensed fields. Like, you can't massage your client because you studied Ayurveda, because that is a licensed field. You can't pretend you're a medical doctor. I'm an educator. I'm a medical educator, not a medical doctor. I'm actually considered the same as a health coach in the eyes of the law in the United States. Now, other countries have different laws. We get lots of students from Australia, Great Britain, Canada, who are practicing, and I am happy to help you understand what some of the issues are in those countries. Just send me a text at that number, and I can walk you through it. As far as our accreditation, our school is accredited by the American Association of Drugless Practitioners. Our courses are recognized by APNA, the Association of Ayurvedic Professionals of North America, and also Joyful Belly School of Ayurveda is a member of NASC, the National Association of Ayurveda Schools and Colleges, so we are recognized and accredited by those groups, and also you will get everything you need in order to practice Ayurveda legally in the United States from us. Whether you whether you are interested in those third-party organizations or not, or joining them or not, you will get whatever you need through us, so that you can begin practicing. Even before you graduate, you will be actually seeing your clients in a supervised manner, and then after you graduate, you'll just continue seeing them on your own. We will provide you with some business instruction, practice setup instruction, and again, all the legal forms, as well as all the information about Ayurveda that you'll need to know. All right. Oh, yes, let me show you where you would go to register as we wrap it up. Hold on one second. You go to joyfulbelly.com, and let me log out here so it looks like what you're going to see when you get there. And you're just going to go to here where it says wellness courses. You see that? And you see the Master Ayurvedic Digestion and Nutrition course and the Fundamentals of Ayurvedic Medicine. You pick the one that you want. And then when you're ready to register, there's a big orange button here. Register now for $250 a month. And if you go to the digestive course, let's see what the month. Okay, $237 a month currently for the digestive one, but that's going to go up each month, not because the cost of the program is going up, but because you have fewer months to pay it off. So the earlier you register, if cash is tight, then you will have a lower monthly payment, and that students find that helpful. So that's why we do it. Great. Again, my number, I'll put it in the chat in case you missed it. It's 828-785-8213. Text me if you'd like to ask any questions. And then let me unmute the line. Let's see. I'm gonna keep it muted, but allowing participants to unmute themselves. So now you can unmute yourself. I want to thank you all for your interest in Ayurveda, but and definitely for your interest in Joyful Belly, but also and most importantly, your interest in your body and in your health and in your own well-being. And they say that disease is contagious. Health is also contagious, right? When you start knowing how to help your body and how to treat your body better, it's something that other people start to notice. Other people start to learn from you, and that is a great gift to your community. And it's for that reason that we started the Joyful Belly School of Ayurveda. So again, thank you all, and I look forward to our opportunity to talk with each other. And with that, feel free to unmute your line and ask a question if you've got one, or type a question in the chat. Bianca, she asks, do you cover everything in the 2-year course that's covered in the 1-year course? They are totally different courses, Bianca. Very little overlap. Many students take both. Any other questions?
Yes. Hi, I have a question.
Yes.
Yes, for someone that's not in the medical field, are these courses going to show us the way of the pathology and all the anatomy parts?
Yes, you will learn everything that you need to know in both courses from the anatomical point of view. In the digestion course, we have supplemental material for each and every part of the body, discussing the Western anatomy for digestion. Again, those are optional things that a medical doctor could skip over. For the fundamentals course, the anatomy is integrated into the classes themselves, because we're discussing them not just from a Western point of view, but also from an Ayurvedic point of view, presenting them. And so for those, you'll get everything that you need. You will understand the body if you're not a medical professional. And this course is both courses. The fundamentals course is made for anyone, for people who come in with no medical knowledge. That you can come in for that. For the digestive course, um, if you've never done anything in the health and wellness field, then you would not be eligible for the digestion course. That course has the prerequisite that you must have some kind of health and wellness experience. Now, that could include anything from being a mental health worker to a massage therapist to a yoga a student, could be Reiki master, or just any field where you have been helping clients in a health and wellness capacity is a prerequisite for that course. Um, and also, stretching that definition a little bit, I have accepted people in the past who've not had formal professional experience in digestion, but took a picture of their library, and I could see the books in their library, and I asked them questions about those books because I had read a lot of them, and they were able to answer them. And I'm gonna say at that point that this person is competent. Basically, in the digestion course, what I want to make sure is that every single student who comes into that program is going to be a serious contributor to the course, in our conversations, because we're learning from each other in addition to from the teacher in that program. It's because it's a little more advanced. Um,
Oh,
Great. Yeah.
thank
For a
you.
practicing clinician, many of the students in both programs will be practicing clinicians already, but for the fundamentals course, it's not required that you are already a practicing clinician. Um, yeah, and I would say if your interest is, which course you take really depends on your interest, whether it is in digestion. We have medical doctors in both courses that take it and we have Western nutritionists, yoga teachers that start off with either course. Sometimes people start off with the digestion one first and then go to the fundamentals second. Sometimes the fundamentals course first and the digestion one second. Sometimes students just do one. So I see some people asking me privately, like, what's my opinion of the course for a practicing clinician? So that's what I'm addressing here in my speech. And if any more details are needed, let me know.
I have a question.
Yes.
Ready? Okay.
Yes.
So I apologize. I did not get to hear all of the last like 15 minutes of
That's okay.
what you were speaking of. So forgive me if it's repetitive. But my question is, I did hear you say something about signing up sooner means you'll have more time to do the course. So I'm not sure if I understand. It's not self-paced.
Okay.
It's you know, a set, it's already in motion, or it's starting soon.
Okay, what I said before is that if you sign up for the digestive course early, you have more time to pay off your tuition balance, which means lower monthly payments. But the course starts the same day for everyone, and we have 3 live courses together per week. The fundamentals course starts in the last week of August. The digestive course starts the second Tuesday of October, and we are meeting together. We used to have self-paced, but it didn't work. And I'll tell you why it doesn't work, because you're going to really want that interaction with other students who are working the same material you are. And that's such a benefit that we abandoned the self-paced model to bring students together.
Gotcha.
But you will be able to study the pre-recorded presentations any time of day or week. And I highly recommend that you study those at the time when your brain is freshest. Like, my brain is the most alive and awake from 5 a.m. until 8 a.m. And so if I was doing the lectures, then I would, if I was doing the lectures, I would pick that time. But my wife, her brain is awake the most from like 9 p.m. to midnight. So if it was her, she would do the pre-recorded presentations then.
So we can start paying now if we sign up, but then the class itself doesn't start till October.
Yeah, what we're going to do is give you materials you can study on between now and the course comes, like textbooks and things like that. And those textbooks, like anything you do between now and the first class, means that you're just going to learn things at a deeper level. Like if I signed up for this Ayurveda course, you mean I wrote it, so not me, but like if I was a practitioner for 10 years and I decided to take an introductory level course, I would still learn a ton of things. I'd be learning at a different level than the new students. And that's what's going to happen if you read the textbook. If you read the textbooks in advance, when you take the course, you're going to go 2 levels deeper than all the other students, and you're still going to like be learning a ton. And so that's what we recommend for people who sign up early. Is we're gonna say, make it easy on yourself. Study those textbooks and the recommended reading, and then when the course starts, instead of it taking you 12 to 13 hours a week, it's going to take you 8 hours a week, and that's just going to spread it out more for you, and you'll learn it more in a more deep manner.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
That was it for me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Yes, I have one more question.
Yes.
You said that we'll learn tongue reading and pulse reading. How is the pulse reading done with the program online?
The same way as if you do it offline. I mean, really, the honest thing is that when you're learning pulse offline, there is no way I can show you what I'm feeling in a pulse. And especially if you have a class of 40 students, there's no, just like when I was learning pulse in an in-person program, um, the teacher said, well, take your take your pulse, take your fellow student in the class's pulse, and write down what you observe. And here's what to look for, and things like that. And you're basically going to do the exact same thing in this program. You're going to take family members or a friend, um, and you're going to take their pulse and report what you see. And we're going to tell you what to look for. So you're going to get the same instruction that I got for pulse. For tongue, and this is true for nearly for all the Ayurveda assessment things, is that I can and when I meet with my clients today, I ask my client to stick out their tongue, and I take a picture of their tongue, and then I put their tongue on the computer screen because I can blow up that picture. Like I could either stick my eyeball in the client's pretty much like an inch from the client's mouth and try to see really clearly what's going on their tongue, or I can make it easy on me and the client by taking a picture and blowing it up and showing the client exactly what it is that I'm seeing under great light conditions, and the client's not sitting there holding their mouth open. So that's what we're going to do in the online course, is we're going to take pictures of the client to show you with greater detail than you could see if the client was in the room with you, what the tongue looks like. Now compare that to an in-person program. In an in-person program, the client's tongue is going to be 40 feet away from you. Like if you're in the fourth row of students and the client is 15 feet in front of the classroom talking with the teacher, you can basically see that the client has a tongue, but that's all you can see. And you're just, and so the online model offers some really surprising options for bringing learning up close. That's why traditional classrooms are moving to an online format, because we can just provide you with better assessment knowledge using multimedia, not less.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Will asks if we will be able to combine foods effectively to make our own Ayurvedic recipes. Now you're talking our language. In a sense, that's what Joyful Belly's all about, right? So yes, we will show you the art of Ayurvedic recipe design. And, as I said, I've been a cook my whole life. And one of the things that I noticed as a chef was that every other art form has the idea of composition, except for cooking. Think about it. If you're going to design a building, there are tools for the composition and a theory of composition. How about making a painting? There's a theory of composing a scene in a painting. We say that a conductor composes music, but we never say that a chef composes a recipe. But that's exactly what the chef is doing. So I've come up with, using that Harvard math education, I've come up with a theory and a model for how to compose recipes that integrates the Ayurvedic technique, which I love sharing with students and which I use to create Joyful Belly recipes all the time. And it's a very elegant model, and I'm going to teach it to you. What other questions can I answer? This is in the digestion nutrition program as well as in the fundamentals program. Both of them. You're going to learn that. Any other questions? You guys are a great group, and thank you for all your questions. I really appreciate it and the opportunity to share our program with you, and also to share any insights of Ayurveda, Ayurveda's methods, approach, all those things. We're excited to get to touch upon a bit today. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I hope you even learned something from it. And I'd love to continue the conversation. If you're interested, I'm here to help you make a big decision. And so feel free to reach out. You have my number. It's 828-785-8213. And I look forward to the next time. You can also email me, john@joyfulbelly.com. And I will answer you. Now, I'm sometimes the slowest person to respond in the company just because of my responsibilities, but I am always available. So don't be offended if I don't get back to you in like the 8 hours or 12 hours, right away, just because, again, of my responsibilities as a business owner and as a school director in clinic and as a dad of 5 kids. So but I will get back to you and I love to chat with prospective students because you have the same love that I do, which is to learn about the human body and discover all there is to discover about it. And I just typed in my number again because Joanne asked. Have a wonderful night, everybody, and take care.